A história de Halo fora dos jogos sempre foi marcada por lendas que fizeram história com suas conquistas. Seja pro player campeões de tudo, desenvolvedores lendários, ou no caso de hoje, o streamer que chamou a atenção de todo mundo após zerar Halo 2 no LASO sem morrer uma única vez. E detalhe, tudo streamado, simplesmente do começo ao fim, sem deixar nada pro dia seguinte. Até recentemente também, ele conseguiu repetir o feito também sem atirar nenhuma vez. Mas, no vídeo especial de hoje, vamos falar com Jervalin para a gente bater um papo sobre isso e ele nos contar mais sobre como ele conseguiu esses feitos.
Let's fucking go! Yes!
Bem-vindos a Halo Project Brasil, seu portal definitivo sobre a franquia Halo.
Mas como será que ele conseguiu zerar Halo 2 no LASO, sem morrer? O próprio Jervalin nos contou sobre a jornada. That's exactly it, what we want to show people, because a lot of people sometimes see, especially when people look at the ending of your stream, where you were able to do the run, you were exhausted, man. I remember you pick it like, you're like, not now, don't call me now, I'll pick it up later.
I rewatched the end of that challenge, and I played so dumb compared to the way that I play in practice, and it wasn't necessarily, I had a lot of pressure, okay, and it wasn't necessarily that it was because there was so many people. It was because I had, I might not ever get another chance to get past Gravemind. Like, those things were all there, but the pressure that was mounting on me this whole time was that I had been so hyped to be the one to beat this. Like, I just felt like it was my obligation. Like, I had to be the person that won. I was not taking no for an answer. I was giving it everything I could possibly give it to try to get this thing conquered. And that was like my biggest pressure point. And it just, back to, whenever I rewatched the way that I played, I was like, dude, what was I doing?
But it's actually good because people were like, people with more experience sometimes will look at that. I'm like, huh, this seems easy because he could have done this and that, and then they're like, oh yeah, try it, go and do it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, whenever you're actually in the moment and you're trying to keep, like, whenever I almost failed High Charity Skip, I saved High Charity Skip 3 times in that run. And I could not get my hands to cooperate. They were just not, it just wasn't, I couldn't calm them down. No matter how much I tried to stay focused, and like I was like yelling at the TV, I was like, you're gonna do this now! This is what's happening! Like, I couldn't get them to stop. And then, in the final fight, whenever that brute, I've done thousands of runs of Halo 2 over the time that I've played.
That one brute.
I have never had, much less the shotgun brute, for example. He got launched from my double nade explosion, but the randomness of him, instead of him jumping to the side or jumping backwards or dying,
because it's the thing you expect from the AI in the game, and then Halo just throws that curveball at you.
That guy jumped, it was, number one, it was the randomness of it being the shotgun brute. It could have been a plasma rifle brute, it could have been the carbine brute, it could have been the brute shot brute. It had to be the shotgun guy. He had to jump forward, and he had to jump forward at the same time as both of those grenades exploded for him to get where he was, to get in a position to possibly shotgun me right there at the end. And like, whenever he shotgunned me, I was so like surprised. I was just, that entire boss fight, when I watched it, I was like, what is this idiot doing? What is he doing? He's gonna die. He's gonna get stuck by a grenade. I'm like in the Twilight Zone right now. This is not the way I play. And it was just, that's the way that it is in the moment. Whenever you've invested 6 hours into a run, 6.5 hours, and you're at the last 10 minutes, you're nervous, you're tired, you can't maintain control of what you're feeling in that moment. And it's so hard to put into words because, I mean, and it's not about a gloating thing like, oh, well, I'm the only one that's ever done it and nobody else is even close. And it doesn't have anything to do with that. It's just that it's hard for me to explain the feelings of being in that situation because nobody else has been in that situation in this circumstance.
The way I explain this, because I think everybody that ever played anything competitive will get into this zone, and it's a moment of chaos that you're the only one that can make sense of it. You're the only one. Anybody that's looking outside, like, how did you get in this situation? What are you doing? It makes no sense. But to everybody that has ever played competitive or tried to do these runs, there is that moment of chaos that everything, but you are the only one that knows exactly what brought you in the situation. You know what you need to do because it's so many hours put in this. As soon as things starts going haywire, people are easily people are easily to say, oh, restart, or oh, this is the end, and you're that one person, like, your brain starts thinking of things you never fought before, and like, hey, I can probably do this, I can do that, and then it's that moment of improvisation and testing your knowledge of the game. And I think that throughout this run, you probably are looking now at Halo 2 with like different eyes. You're looking at this thing like a totally different beast.
I can definitely attest to saying that with Critical launching this challenge, I learned quite a few different things from grinding it and experiencing it that helped me in the current challenges I'm working on now.
Mas será que qualquer um consegue se tornar um speedrunner como ele? Jervalin também deu algumas dicas para novos speedrunners, seja de Halo ou de qualquer outro jogo.
Getting into something like challenge runs that, you know, there's some people are, there's very few things that you can say that nobody in the world has ever done before. But just getting into challenge runs in general, it's a lot of dedication because there's a lot of people that when things don't go their way, they just give up and they don't want to do it anymore. And I mean, I hate to just spit it out like that, but that's just what happens. They just don't want to do it. You need to have the right mindset to know that every time that you fail, as long as you just pick yourself back up and try it again, you have infinite amount of opportunities. You can continue to grind and craft your ability and get further and further and further and closer to completing your goal, but you have to keep trying over and over again. You know, whenever you stop doing it, that is when you're not going to be able to get it done. The mindset going in is you just have to, you know, like you can't go into Halo 2 and say, well, I'm going to turn myself into a Juggernaut Flood, you know, because I believe I can do it. It doesn't exist in the code, okay? You can't do that. You know, it's like the same thing if people have asked me if I would do a damageless run of Halo 2.
It's just like, not viable. It's like there's a lot of things that you have to do it.
Well, you can't do, it's not possible to do a damageless run because you take damage on Armory.
Yeah.
You take mandatory damage on Gravemind. Like don't be silly. If you can't do it, it's physically not possible, then let's not be silly. But you have to concentrate, you have to be focused, you have to be dedicated in order to get something, anything that you really want to put your mind to. You can, it's the oldest thing in the book and it sounds cheesy, but you have to want to do it. Because you wanting to get into Dark Souls 3 speedruns, or you wanting to get your first 99 in RuneScape, or you wanting to complete Halo 2 Legendary Deathless, or you wanting to binge watch all 11 seasons of The Walking Dead in a single setting, whatever. You have to put your mind to doing it, and you just have to say, no matter what, I'm going to do this. Somehow, some way, and it sounds so corny to say it, but it's just, you have to put your mind to wanting to do it. And what that will do is that will put you in contact with people that are like-minded. You'll gravitate toward making decisions to get it done. You'll get more attracted to people that are interested in doing what you're interested in doing. And what that does is every one of those connections that you make, it gets you one step closer to getting to the goal.
It's fun to talk to somebody that did something in a game that I love so much, that it was in my childhood and is still now, and to see all the commotion and the viewership and everybody getting behind this is awesome. And
man, I cannot believe that there was over 50,000 people at the end of that run.
Yeah,
watching. That was just, I mean,
you got more viewers than some professional games. Like you understand that there's some traditional sports games that did not get the viewerships you got.
Like I heard literally that, I forget what the coach's name was, but I read about it on Twitter, that there were some some scrimmage matches that were supposed to be going on in Halo Infinite, that the coaches literally stopped the scrimmage matches. They postponed them to watch the end of the run. Awesome. It was mind-blowing. It was crazy. I mean, I can't thank Critical enough. I did it a lot in the other interview that I had. I mean, I can't thank him enough for giving me the exposure. And I mean, I'm really happy that I won. Of course, who wouldn't want to win? And I'm gonna say this here the same way that I said in my other one. I don't get to all of my YouTube comments. There's like 10,000 YouTube comments on Critical's video of all these people with all these really positive remarks and their support. And I wish that I had the time to go through each individual one and thank everyone individually. And I don't mean thanking them by saying, "Oh, cool, thanks, man." Like it sounds like a blow-off thank you. Like I don't want people to think that I'm like, "Oh, thanks, don't really care, thanks." Like, I don't want to give a half-assed, for lack of a better word, response of a thank you. And I mean, I thought about making a YouTube video of appreciation and whatnot, and I think I want to stick with, because I'm not good at YouTube videos. I like playing the game and then uploading the content, but like talking to a camera, I feel like I'm talking into like a mirror and I'm being judged. But in any event, I just wanted to thank everybody, seriously thank everybody for just the support that I've received. Stay with Halo. We're bringing it back from the brink. I want everyone to stay with it. Thank you guys, and it was just thank you guys for the interview too.
No, don't worry about it.
Sure.
Because this is kind of I was gonna say like our job, but it's actually a hobby of ours. That we're this Brazilian community in Halo, and all we're trying to do is get access to the information, because here in Brazil we do have a lot of speedrunners, but Halo isn't much known here. So if we get more people and show even other speedrunners that what you're capable to do, and go to these Brazilian speedrunners, but can you do this in Halo? And just to get people talking about it, that's what we wish for here. And I gotta say thank you too, because it for me it was something I remember. I almost got fired because when you're doing the stream, I was in a important call in my job. Things were like on fire. And I work with robots, so if I'm not paying attention and the robot starts doing something wrong, and I was in the production site, and I was watching your stream, and the robot did something wrong, and then all of a sudden my boss called me and is like, "Are you paying attention to the dashboard?" I'm like, yeah, everything is green. It's like, no, it's red. Everything is red. And then I looked to the right, I looked to your stream, like, it was right at the moment where you picked up your phone and like you said, "Oh, I can't talk now." I'm like, yeah, I can't either. Then I went back to my job. But it was awesome. It was really awesome.
That's great.